What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back with the Mariners post-game recap. As always, before I get started, it's just a shameless plug. Hit the sub button, hit the like button. Both help me out tremendously, especially if you're watching the videos and you're enjoying them. If you can just hit that sub button, that like button, just really helps me grow my channel. Thank you to everybody that's already done that. The Mariners win. For the first time since Monday night, they get a W. They defeat the Atlanta Braves tonight 7-3. Really a solid W across the board from start to finish. Maybe not start as much. The first couple batters were a little iffy, but they really buckled down and played a really one of those games that you can't really find anything to be mad about in this game. Good pitching, great hitting too, good fielding. You know, one of those games just all around, real solid win against a really, really good ball club too. So really nice to see. And now it leads them in a chance to win the series tomorrow and have a winning road trip. Despite some of the struggles in Boston and that first game against Atlanta, the Mariners have a chance to get out of this 9-game road trip at 5-4 and then coming home to maybe a couple teams that could be beatable for them. So really nice to see that. Let's dive into it. Start with the pitching. Logan Gilbert was absolutely fantastic. The first two batters, yeah, that was a little rough, but after that, just absolutely locked in. Actually, the first three batters reached, and then he only allowed 2 more base runners the rest of the way. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, 9 Ks. A brilliant performance from Logan Gilbert in a tough ballpark against a really, really good lineup. That is a great pitch game by Logan Gilbert, especially when you consider he was down 2-0 before even recording an out. And listen, Acuna is amazing. He got a single, going to happen. And Matt Olson, I don't even think Olson got all that home run. If you even watch his reaction, he kind of acts like it's a pop-up. I don't know if the wind took it out a little bit or anything, or maybe, some of these guys are just so strong they don't think they get it, and it still carries out. But absolutely great performance from Logan Gilbert. I will say I thought it was a little odd. Actually, one more thing before I get into some of the managerial comment. The other thing that Logan did amazing was how he switched up. I mean, we know Logan is fastballs. It's a lot of fastballs, a lot of high fastballs, and he's great. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But after the first 2 batters, he mixed it up more than I've ever seen him. He threw 21 split fingers today. I'm curious if he's thrown 21 split fingers all season. So not only did he pitch amazing, just a smartly pitched game too. Atlanta was sitting fastball. They attacked him early, and he adjusted. You could see the Braves hitters were confused by it. They did not expect him to come out and just start throwing a different pitch there. So I don't know if that credit goes to Pete Woodworth, to Scott Service, to Logan Gilbert, to Tom Murphy, to Cal Raleigh watching it and saying something, to whoever. But a really fantastic job by Logan Gilbert to do that, to mix up the pitching there, and really just kept the Braves off balance the rest of the way. You can tell if you go back and watch it, they looked like even some of the strikeouts, I thought they were kind of questioning the ump. The ump was not good tonight, but I think some of it was like, where did this pitch come from Logan Gilbert? So just tremendous outing from Logan. I always feel like Logan Gilbert's kind of the forgotten guy in this rotation with Kirby, Castillo, and everything, but and now Bryce Miller. But Logan Gilbert was absolutely brilliant. Both starting pitchers, both games, Miller and Gilbert, great outings against a really, really good Atlanta Braves lineup. So kudos to them on that. Bullpen did its job. Matt Brash was really solid. Struck out the side. Again, anytime you see Brash pitch, and he threw 23, that's a lot. But, you always see the up and downs. You see some of the command stuff, but you also see how good the stuff is. You can see why they like going to him with runners on base, because he is capable of striking out any hitter in the majors. So hopefully Brash is coming along here. They need him to be better than he's been. And the strikeout numbers are amazing. I know some of the secondary stuff and numbers indicate he's been good, and I think he's fine. But more consistent, and hopefully tonight was a start of that. I didn't think Justin Topa was very good. Truthfully, and listen, Acuna and Olsen hit him. They're going to hit a lot of people. But Murphy hit a line drive that could have easily ended up being a base hit. Austin Riley's sac fly was hit pretty hard. So not the best series for Justin Topa. It's going to happen. Relief pitcher is a very. It's a tough job because you pitch so little innings in the grand scheme of things that 3 bad outings, can ruin a season. The announcers were talking about that with AJ Minter from the Braves. His ERA's in the 7, but if he had a stretch of 4 appearances where he allowed 10 earned runs, it's hard to get that ERA back down. So I think Topa is going to be fine, just not his best series. And Paul Sewald, who we haven't seen much of recently, did a nice job in the 9th inning. I thought it was kind of odd that Logan came out in a 7-2 game at 87 pitches, and Bryce Miller went back out yesterday in a 2-1 game at like 90, 89 pitches. Didn't have a huge problem with Miller going back out there yesterday, despite what Mariners Twitter world wants to say. Now, if you watched my video last night, I acknowledge it. I didn't think Scott handled it perfectly, but, I didn't think it was as egregious as some people are thinking. Same with tonight. I don't have a problem with Logan Gilbert coming out there. I just think it's odd that Miller was the one that went back in and Logan is the one that came out. And I'm willing to bet that Scott would probably tell you the score played a part in that. At 7-2, he knew Brash probably needed some work and wanted to get Paul Sewald in this game as well. And maybe he's going to say, hey, after yesterday, I didn't want to run into those issues that we had with Bryce Miller and that, we could have maybe it repeats itself with Logan today. I would kind of go the opposite with the score and say I'd let Logan go another inning in a 7-2 game. But it is what it is. I just thought it was a little odd. Again, if you have an issue with it, I would venture to take a bit of a step back and just say, do these things really impact games as much as we think they do? And I say that in terms of, the Jimmies and the Joes have to perform at some point. Like I said with yesterday, yeah, maybe you should have taken Miller out. But then it's not like the bullpen did good yesterday either. Trevor Gott struggled. Justin Topa struggled. Sometimes there's no perfect way to handle these things. You could have even argued leaving Bryce Miller in to face Ozuna yesterday. I'm not trying to rehash yesterday's arguments, but just that it's not easy to. Good teams win, bad teams don't. I'm not claiming the Mariners are a bad team because they lost yesterday or anything like that. But at the end of the day, managers' impacts happen more in the clubhouse and stuff like that. There's nothing too egregious that can happen, at least from my eyes, in game that leads to anything, devastating. At the end of the day, there's always reasons for each decision, for lack of a better term, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. Let's move on to the offense. Great day for the offense, 7 runs, 9 hits. They worked 5 walks. They did strike out 14 times, but kind of forgive that when they're having a good game. JP was fantastic today, reached base 3 times, 2 for 4, with an RBI and a walk, and he had the go-ahead single in the 4th, and it was a lead the Mariners did not give up. Ty France was kind of bad today, 0 for 5 at the plate, and I thought it was weird in the 8th inning. It was Riley was batting, it was a sac fly, and Acuna was kind of caught off guard, I think because it looked like that might get down Riley's, at bat, the hit, or, the out looked like it might go for a base hit. Kelenic caught it, and Kelenic was throwing home, and France cut it off. Now, I don't know if he would have gotten him, and A.J. Przinsky made this point on the game, too. He called that out. I thought the same thing. It was just weird that Ty France cut it off. It looked like they might have been able to get Acuna at home, and it ended up not mattering, but, it does matter a little bit. Now, not in terms of this game anymore. It's over. The Mariners won. But that run makes it 7-3, and had the Braves gotten a couple more guys on, Acuna could have batted as a tying run. If it's 7-2, then even if he hits a grand slam, okay, 7-6, you just got to get the outs. It still would make me nervous, but, you'd be okay. So it does kind of matter, especially against a lineup like the Braves. Listen, I'm all for trading, letting them score that run there to get the out, but it looked like they may have had a chance at the double play. I'm a little surprised Ty cut that off. I don't think he noticed that Acuna got a really kind of jumped like it was going to be a hit, then went back and tagged. But yeah, I also, on that same note, I could be in the minority here. I thought A.J. Przinsky was really good on the broadcast. The Mariners aren't on a lot of Fox games nationally, or whatever you want to say, if that's nationally or not. I like A.J. Przinsky in the booth. I thought he had some really good insight. Thought he made some really, let's tilt this up a little bit. I thought he made some really good points about Julio and some of what he's going through. I thought he had some good insight, really good. Talking about Logan Gilbert mixing it up and throwing pitches we haven't seen much from Logan. It wasn't just the fluff stuff that the color guy gives you, and some of that stuff's fun. I'm not against it. They were talking about a sandwich for 20 minutes. That stuff's fine. I don't mind some fun banter, but he had some really good insights. I thought he was better than, usually it's John Smoltz is one of their lead guys. I don't know if Smoltz is fine. I'm not against him, but it's always a lot of fluff and a very just, I don't know, I always get a sense from Smoltz, like, I played, I know more than you kind of attitude. I didn't see that for Przinsky. I thought he had some funny anecdotes and some good insights into the game. So I enjoyed him on the telecast. Julio was 0 for 2, but with 3 walks. I'll take it. The contact's still not there. Like, I'm fine with 3 walks. Anytime you reach base 3 times in a game, you're doing something right. So I'm not, I know it sounds like, really, Jay, Julio reached base 3 times, you're going to be critical. I'm not so much critical of anything he did today. He did have also 2 runs scored and a stolen base. But you can see he's still a little off at the plate. Now, some of those walks were really good. He was behind 0-2 in one of them, worked the count back full and got the walk. So some good at-bats. Like, that's solid. That's good. I'll listen, if you want to walk every at-bat and have a 1,000 on base percentage, love it. Love it. You'll be the best player in baseball. But you can still see his timing's a little off with his swing and making contact. Jared Kelenic was 2 for 5. Solid game from Jared. Eugenio Suarez was 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, including a 2-run home run, his 5th home run of the season. That's really good to see. Good to see Gino with a couple home runs on this road trip. Excuse me, maybe getting that home run swing back a little bit. They need that. Gino's been okay hitting. Like, he's had a lot of singles. I feel like the slugging hasn't quite been there for Gino. They need that going. They need to get that back, and it's good to see that. So hopefully that's a sign of Gino this road trip getting back into the home run swing. Teoscar Hernandez was 1 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. Taylor Trammell was 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Tom Murphy was 1 for 4, and Caballero was 0 for 3 with a sac fly. Nice sac fly. He got behind 2 strikes, drove the ball pretty deep. It was when the game was 2-1 that tied the game up. It looked like there was a chance maybe the Mariners are going to leave the bases loaded here. So nice at-bat there by Caballero, who continues to be kind of a troll with the pitch count. And I said this in our video, I'm not shocked that some of these guys that have been in the minors more recently know how to manipulate it a little bit. If you notice, Caballero, every time he's at bat, there's something with the pitcher, the ump, and he pushes it to the limit. It's sort of that right here before going off the edge. He knows exactly how to do it, and it makes sense. They've been using it in the minor leagues. He's used to it. Everybody else here hasn't had a lot of experience with it. Maybe Taylor Trammell and Kelenic a little bit, but the rest of these guys, this is their first go-around with it. So I think Caballero has a lot of experience with it and kind of knows maybe how to manipulate the pitch clock a little bit. I don't know. Or he could just be a massive troll and loves to get under people's skin. But, not a great game for him. But he did have a nice defensive play to end the game on a well-turned double play. Real nice win for the Mariners. Kind of a win that makes you, okay, take a deep breath. Listen, they're still 22 and 23. This doesn't fix everything, but I was also in the camp that not everything needed to be fixed either. They're hanging around. They're playing okay. They haven't dove into a territory where it's like, oh, they need that 14-game winning streak. And I keep seeing that on Twitter. I keep seeing, and it's a certain group, and I'm not, again, I don't call anybody out individually because it's not, I don't have any beef with anybody, but I keep seeing it from some people that, like, they can't rely on a 14-game winning streak this year, so they better turn it on. They don't need a 14-game winning streak. Who's saying that? Like, if they had a 14-game winning streak starting today, I mean, they'd be 35 and 23. They'd be probably in first place at the time. So, and well on their way to a playoff berth. No one's saying they need a 14-game winning streak. They're going to need a couple, 5-2 trips or homestands or something like that. But that's not anything that's unattainable or crazy. So I've seen it from a couple people that keep saying they can't rely on that this year. And barring something like that, it's like that they don't need it. They're a game under. Like, that's not great. That's not where I want them to be right now. I'd much prefer them to be, 25 and 20 or something like that. But it is where it is. That they're hanging around 500. We have 117 games left to go. And they've played a pretty tough schedule so far, and they've been pretty unlucky in one-run games. So all that taken into effect, and their best player has not been very good so far this year. So take all that into consideration, and I'm okay where they're at. Now, I didn't want to get swept here in Atlanta and come back 21-25, but if you can win tomorrow, fantastic. Go back home 500. It's a winning road trip. Chance to get back over 500 against Oakland for 4 games. But even if you do drop tomorrow, I think you're okay. Couple games under. Again, you're a series win from being back to 500 and feeling pretty good. But the good news is today was a bullpen day for the Braves. It looked like early on Jesse Chavez, he shut them down. It looked like it was going to be a rough day for the Mariners, but they got to Tonkin and some of the Braves bullpen, and now the Braves bullpen, they're probably going to make a roster move tomorrow because they're pretty thin in that bullpen right now. So we'll see what they end up doing for tomorrow's game. So good job by the Mariners to really kind of put some pressure on that Braves bullpen and put them in a little bit of maybe a tough spot for tomorrow, and a chance with George Kirby on the mound to get that series win. I think they've got a shot at it. So hopefully they can get that done, get back home 500. That would be huge, and to win a series in Atlanta would be huge as well against a really good Braves team. So nice win today for the Mariners. Like I said, all-around good win. Not much to not be happy about. There's nothing to be like, oh, the offense was still stinky. That was a good offensive performance today by the club. Great pitching from Logan and Brash and Sewald. Topa wasn't great, but it was against the heart of the Braves order. That's going to happen. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Tomorrow night probably for the post game for Game 3. Hopefully we'll talk about a Mariners win. And then that's all I've got. I hope everybody enjoys their Saturday night. Have a great night, everybody. And as always, go Mariners. Take care. Peace.